Good day, YouTube. Moparmodeler here with another episode of Glue Bomb Restorations. Today we're going to go over the plan and, what will happen next on the Dodge Monaco. I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully sometime soon there will be another one besides this one. But for now, please enjoy this update on Glue Bomb Restorations. So, I'd like to start by apologizing for the lighting and the darkness and the sound quality. One of these days I'll get a decent setup, but for now, this will do. In the last episode, I showed how to strip the body, and here now I have the body completely stripped, and as you can see, it still needs it still has coloring on it. It's stained into the plastic. I probably could sand it out, but there's really no need because I'll just prime over it. And also it kind of helps define the flaws that are still within the body that I need to sand and work out. There's still parts, like here in the front, where the glue is very thick and it's showing the original paint. I'll have to break that loose by hand and take out those thick chunks of glue. I also have glue here on the inside of the body. Fortunately, it didn't distort the outside of the body, but you could see where it literally melted the plastic to the body, and I'll just sand that down and smooth it out. The hood, it's also has some of the coloring on there, but again, it'll come out clean. And the bottom, you can see where the lines are to cut out the hood. My plan is this is the hood scoop out of, I believe, a 68 or 69 Super B or something. I'm thinking about grafting that on to this hood, cut the hood out and have this, grafted on in there. I think that would make it look pretty cool. We'll see how that turns out. Now, I've already cut out part of the doghouse here on this kit. I have a plan. The original parts are very boxy and very low on detail, and they really don't look all that great. I would like to have a lot more engine detail. I'm going to try to save the tires. I don't know if I can. They're really hard. I do like the look of the tires and the writing on them, but because this is a glue bomb restoration, I'm going to go ahead and take the rims and tires off and strip the rims and rechrome them using Alcad or something of that nature to show you how you can bring back old rims and make them look good again. The interior, the only thing I'm going to keep in the interior is the dash and the steering wheel. Luckily, the steering wheel is in great shape. Normally, they're not in good shape. And to take all this apart is basically the same procedure I showed you in the second installment of Glue Bomb Restorations, how to be gentle and not get so intense on pulling parts loose. And I'll throw this in the bath and the purple pond and take that black off, and I'll just basically redo the whole and fix the dash up. But instead of using this dash pan and this chassis pan, because when you look at the chassis pan, it's molded in exhaust. It's very, very generic. It be honest with you, it looks really bad. It's not exciting at all. It's not something that I would really want to take to a model car show, even though I'm not going to make this to win trophies or anything. But the object is to try to make this Monaco come alive with easy, accessible things. And in order to do that, I've chosen as a donor kit AMT's 1971 Dodge Charger. And the reason for this is several reasons. Number one, it's in 1/25th scale, just as, you know, the Monaco is in 1/25th scale. So by keeping the same scale, things tend to fit a whole lot better. Here's the chassis pan out of the Dodge Monaco. Out of the AMT's 71 Dodge Charger. And, you know, as you can see, it's so much more detailed. I have tape here to hold the K-member on to the floor pan because they're separate, which is wonderful. It makes it stand out. Now, I have cut the doghouse out of the Charger body. And I've done this before. I've done this kit before, and it worked quite well. I have to scratch build a few things, but basically the doghouse I'll put in here. I have to add more plastic and things, but it really makes everything pop. But before I cut everything up, and what I did was I took this chassis and put it upside down, or held it upside down basically, and I took the chassis from the Dodge Charger and I just laid them on top of each other. And the two main parts you really need to concern about is where this chassis pan ends in front of the back tire and where it ends behind the front tire. If you notice, they end pretty much identically, these two chassis. So the distance from the toe board to the back wheel well is the same. Okay, and then fortunately, by luck, the K-member, the K-frame, when I line everything up, is right on. Everything matches. See, so if I move that, you see this K-member. I put this here. The K-member is in the same exact spot. Okay, and the frame, it's a little bit longer than what this shows, but that's okay because no one's really going to notice. Maybe it's not, it just slid. So, but as far as the front brace, it's in the same exact position as the other model. And then when we come to the back, you notice that the floor pan is not quite as long. The wheel wells match exactly, by the way. They're almost exact. The Charger floor pan is a tad shorter than the Monaco floor pan, which is no big deal. Either it may go together and that amount of space won't matter, or I just add a sliver of plastic to the end. So when we take the body and we place the floor pan in the body, everything lines up. It fits. In fact, it fits better, I think, than the body on the from the Monaco. The only issue I have is even though everything matches here very well, I have a little issue with this space. I'm trying to get a good view of this. I have a slight issue with this spacing in the wheel well here. And I can just simply take some very thin styrene and fill that in, and no one would really notice. You know, it would still look very well. Maybe waller it out a little bit more, you know, make the wheel well just a little bit more. If I scoot it forward some, then it doesn't show. So, but then it shows a little bit on the toe boards. So it may be just moving things around to get the best spot and filling in a little bit. But as far as the width going together, everything fits so much more smoothly. And this gives me the opportunity again to use parts from the Dodge Charger, such as the doghouse and of course the engine. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, I can't really make up my mind. I don't know exactly what I want to do. I don't know if I want to put a small block in here, because, you know, I owned a 78 Dodge Monaco back in the day. And they're exactly the same, the 77 and 78. And mine had a 318 in it, a small block Dodge motor. And so I can put a small block in here too, a 318, which was very common. Or I can put, I can go bigger all the way up to a 400 block to be more realistic, because they didn't put 440s in cars after, after 71. In 1972, they put 400s in as the largest big block on most of your Mopars. I mean, your pickup trucks still you could get with a 440, but it was not the 440 we remember from the 60s Mopars. But a lot of guys would, build their cars and pull out the little 318s and throw in a 440 to get that extra horsepower to be a sleeper. I think the police car versions of this usually had a 400 put inside of it. But I also thought about putting in an old Hemi, from a 71 Hemi. So when you open the hood and you have this big orange Hemi sticking out, which would really make this cool. This model, this car, you can't really tell because of the way the body looks here, but it's actually a very good looking car in real life. It's one of my favorites, and I'll post a picture of my real car that I had. I never got to restore it. My wife fussed at me enough, I finally sold it. But I'll post a few pictures. Give me some ideas of what you think. But right now, the next things I'm going to do, and I'm not going to film it because it'd drag everything out. I'm going to go through and using my very thin razor saw, this little doodad here, and a very thin knife blade, like this one here, I'm going to etch in. I want to add the mold lines, or not mold lines, but I want to add the lines that are on the real car. This is missing because a lot of this on the real car was plastic or rubberized, and I'll add that. I do somewhere have a body that I had done before, and I had it a minute ago, and I don't know where I put it. If I see it, I'll hurry up and grab it. Oh, here it is. It's right in front of me. So here's an example of one that I had done a long time ago, and I never finished it. Trying to get this to focus. But you can see the doghouse that I put in from a 71 Charger. The reason why I quit on this model is because every time I try to repaint it, I get dust in the paint, and like right where this white spot is, and I got so mad I just gave up on this. But you can see it's kind of hard. You can see the lines that I added to match the real car, and I knew how these lines were from owning the real car. And then you can see here, where I did a wash on the grill, but on this side I didn't wash the grill. I cut it out and I added, you can see my finger behind it, I added screen to give it a more realistic look. And that's probably what I'll do with the glue bomb restoration. I'll cut all that out and show you what it looks like with a see-through grill to make things pop. And also to make it look better, I'll take the headlights, and I'll rework them so that I'll have actual clear lenses and just use the housings, but I'll cut the lights out, finish it off real good, and then I'll make my own clear lenses using just excess plastic, or even using parts of a empty water bottle or a 2-liter bottle. So that is so far my update on the Monaco. I have yet to strip the bumpers. I didn't do that when I stripped the body, so I'll probably put the bumpers and stuff in the pond, and then I'll take and show you how to alclad them, because that's a very easy and inexpensive way to get chrome again. And if it's not a show quality model, and when I finish it, I'll probably will put it in a model contest, not really in the hopes of winning, but just so that, you know, it'll be a litmus test about how well you can make a crummy kit, how you can bring it back to life and look good. Now, if I don't go with the rims that's in the kit, I'm thinking about using, and I know this kind of goes against the idea and the plan of it, thinking about using some big and skinnies. These are the wide part. These are from MRC. You know, they haven't made these rims in a long time. These are Keystones, you know, similar to the Kragers that's on it, that came with the kit. So I think that these would have a nicer look, you know, give it a good fat meaty look. So I might do some aftermarket tires, but first I'll try to restore the old ones, or at least show you how to restore the old ones, even if I don't use them. So again, this is the plan. Hopefully this video isn't too boring or too long, but here within, maybe by Friday, I'll be able to post another video of this in primer. I may do a video on how to get this doghouse in there and looking good. Now I want to do it better than I did in the last time. And again, the interior, I'm going to use the interior out of the Charger, because in real life the interiors are almost exactly alike except for the dash. So that's the plan on the Monaco so far. This is what it looks like after it's come out of the bath. It's fairly clean. You know, it's a little chalky. It's not quite like this kind of plastic. It's a little more, you know, fragile feeling, but that's just because the kit is actually from 1977. I think they actually made this kit in 76, so they can have it out in 77. So, you know, that's a pretty old kit. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will do my best to answer them. I hope you enjoyed part 4 of Glue Bomb Restorations. I know it wasn't much, but at least it showed you what things look like after the process of stripping the paint, and, you know, the plan of attack as far as what I'm going to use and what I'm going to, how it's going to turn out. It's always good to have a plan of attack. You know, write down on a piece of paper your plan, what you want to use, and come up with an idea of how you want to do it. You know, what steps, when do you want to do this, when you want to do that, and follow those as closely as you can. For me, my concern first is of the body. I want to get the body straight and painted so it could cure. So when I go to put it on the rest of the model, it won't leave fingerprints and all that. And the object is while it's curing, I can build the motor and the chassis and work on the interior. But a part of the body is again fixing the doghouse and getting it attached to the body, making sure that the parts that I want to use for the chassis and the interior will actually fit inside. It's better to, you know, do that before it's painted, so again I don't mess up the paint while trying to, you know, figure out how things get. So I'm going to, for the most part, build the model without gluing it together before it even gets before it even gets painted, and that's just so I know it will fit after I paint it, and I won't have to fiddle with it as much after it's painted. So remember, my friends, this is just a hobby. Enjoy it and have fun. And with that, good day and God bless.